Jack again. Okay. Ooh, excuse me. I'm going to talk about the relationship system. Now, this system is the placement within both males and females, and which designs the inevitable relationship get-together for the activation of the sex system to be able to feed through the unconscious mind the powering and charging of the mind consciousness systems within all of humanity, and of course the little bit for the demons. So the relationship system works as follows. Within both males and females, the system is exactly the same, but the only thing that's the difference is, of course, the picture that's within the mind. So you have the relationship system, which is another beam-like structure. I say it's a beam because everyone knows what's a beam, like a pole that is in the center of the human physical body. So you have this beam-like structure within the center of the human physical body. Again, then you have like these two little like podium structures in the mind. Okay, now the human physical body and the mind consciousness systems are split into two sections, where the left representing the female and the right represent the male. The female expressive creative side, and then the male structural manifestation side. So let's take for instance a male. So a male's relationship system within them has got that beam-like structure in the center of the human physical body. Then on the right, now you've got two podiums, the male also and the female, but I'm just taking a male for example now. It's got two podium-like structures in the left hemisphere of the brain and then the right hemisphere of the brain. Now, the male has got his male picture of himself, which is, it's not actually him, because all males have exactly the same picture-like structure on this podium in the mind, and then the left side is empty. In other words, there's not a picture, like it's like a little photograph in a frame, exactly like that it looks in the right hand side, with the male figure, expressive nature in that, and that's like electrically charged. Okay, so your male hormones is actually from within that picture frame of yourself as a male expression that is charged through electricity through your participation in this mind consciousness system setup. Now, how does the relationship work? So, okay, I'm not going to define in terms of now, male or female, in terms of, I understand there's like lesbian relationships and gay relationships and God knows what, but, from a perspective of now I'm just going to take the most simple one, which is male and female. Not that it's simple, it actually all works the same. So now the female now this male is incomplete. Now he's looking for the one, and the picture presentation of a perfect woman which he would like to experience himself with. But what is that experience actually? Sex, relationship, desire for relationship, wanting to be in a relationship, loving someone, all that bullshit is just a beautiful cover-up for the actual truth, which is sex. So now, for instance, this male sees a female and he goes, oh my God, this is the one, and he falls head over heels, and it's a whole anxiety thing and the nervousness, and men, you do experience it, I know. And then what happens is, the moment these two, like, the sparks start flying thing goes on, and, the whole flirting and etc., it's like, what happens is, this female's little picture of her gets lodged into the left podium structure in the male. So now the male's mind consciousness system is complete within him. So what happens is, but it's only placed there for now. This is now the relationship completeness system of the mind consciousness system within human beings. And the same happens within the female. See, the female on her left had only herself placed there in the picture frame structure here on a podium, and also charged with electricity because of her participation of the mind consciousness system and all her hormones running around there crazy. And then when she meets the guy's picture frame is placed on the right hand side of her mind consciousness system relationship structure, and voila, there you have relationship. So what is relationship? It's the completion of the mind consciousness system within human beings. Okay, so now where the fun starts, if you want to call it that, for mind consciousness systems and demons, etc., is when these two have sex. Okay, now, what happens is the following. Remember, in males' mind consciousness relationship system, they're on the right-hand side, they're little picture photographic framed of themselves, charged electrically on this podium-like structure, and then the woman's one is placed on the left, but not yet lodged. I will say now what I mean by lodged. And vice versa for the female. So when these two have sex, okay, firstly, their systems lock in together. In other words, the entire female system is transferred into the male system, okay? So then the female expression on the left is now complete, and the male side expression is now complete, one. And the same happens within the female. The male systems get transferred into the female, and then her system is complete as well. So now we have two complete systems. And from that moment, that's where the whole sexual experience comes forth, the orgasm and the whatnot, the ecstatic experience, the screaming in the roof, gets knocked over, or you have the sensual, nice sex, whatever. But both in both, you have an orgasm, hopefully. Well, hopefully. I know women, I say hopefully because I know women. Okay, anyway, we won't go there yet. So then they have sexual intercourse, and from there, that's how the whole sex system is then activated, remain dormant until penetration actually occurs. Sex system steps forth, amalgamates with the relationship system as one, and from there, that's when the really extensive amount of sexual energy gets compounded and then transferred through to all of humanity's unconscious minds and charging the mind consciousness systems, and then of course the rest going to the demons. So, that is all the game towards the ultimate prize, which is orgasm during sexual experience. And the addiction to orgasmic experience and sex, well, that I will do in the next interview, because that's also quite a lengthy description of what happens. So that's how relationships works, actually. Just a completion of a mind consciousness system within both males and females, and the same within gay and lesbian relationships. It's both the exact same scenario. It is just that what happens is your mind consciousness system becomes complete, and that electrical charged photograph framed that was on the two podiums in your mind consciousness system is what remains there. And of course, now when the relationship breaks up, what happens is the relationship ties get broken, and the picture disappears from the mind consciousness system, and then it's all the emotional breakdown experience, because oh my god, I'm not complete anymore. And the whole system goes through a what do you call those, an addiction retrieval period, because now it has to let go of all the system stuff of your partner, etc. So it's quite a story. Okay, this is Jack. I'll continue. Thank you.